Hi, Alicia, and welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We have Alisha Robertson here with us today, and so excited to have her with us. And she is the founder of Living Over Existing. So, Alicia, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and about Living Over Existing?
I'm Alicia, of course. I have been an entrepreneur of some sort for over, oh my gosh, I think it's going on 8 years now. Like it's been a long time. What I do is I am the founder of Living Over Existing, which is a podcast, newsletter, and community for women entrepreneurs who are wanting to build a successful business without sacrificing the life they desire. And I'm really focused on that piece because I am anti-hustle. I believe in working hard and, going towards your goals. And I do believe that there are some sacrifices that need to be made in order to reach those goals. But I don't believe in, you can sleep when you're dead, or I don't believe that you have to work 24/7 in order for you to be successful. And just after experiencing like really severe burnout myself, I really essentially had to like tear down everything that I thought I knew about entrepreneurship in order to really just build a business that fit the life that I wanted to live and not really trying to mold my life around this business that I built. So I really just tore down everything that I thought I knew about entrepreneurship and just built a community, which is our membership community, that will help women to get the essentials of learning how to build their business, but doing it in a way that feels good to them, that is going to help them to also make time for their families or for travel or just time to sit and watch Netflix, like whatever it is for your personal goals. I show women how to build a business around that. That is like the very abbreviated short version of what I do.
I love it. And I've been following you for years, and it really is such a great community. I love
Thank you.
it. You're
Thank
so inspiring. I love what you're doing. You wrote an article, and I absolutely love it.
you.
I mean, if it has not been repinned 4 billion times, I don't know what anyone is doing. So the article is called Six Reasons Why No One is Buying What You're Selling. And the reason that I love it is because it can be about any business, any business.
Mhm.
It's so broad, and I love that. It can apply to so many different areas. So, do you mind taking us through those six reasons why no one is buying what you're selling?
Yeah, so I have to say that when I wrote this post back in, I'm looking at it now, 2014, which is
Wow.
insane. I was kind of like in a frustrated kind of mood of like, one, seeing people complain about like not getting the sales or kind of like depending on other people to support them, and then kind of like looking back at like my journey and just thinking about the reasons why people weren't buying what I had to offer, because that's just how entrepreneurship is sometimes. So this was one of those posts that was kind of like, I'm just going to get all of this out.
The best kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I was telling you before, I think it's probably one of my most repinned posts on Pinterest right now, which is insane to think about. But yeah, so I'll just kind of like take you through it. But the first tip of the reason why no one is buying what you're selling is you're not listening to your customers' wants and needs. I think one of the biggest issues with entrepreneurship is we are so passionate about what we do. We're so passionate about the things that we feel called to do and we feel purpose to do that sometimes it is really hard to think outside of our reality. And it's so easy for us to create this big project or create this big service or create this big digital offer and then not really consider the people who are going to buy it. So if you haven't been like seeing the sales that you want, it may be because you are thinking more about yourself and your own personal desires and not so much of what your audience will actually buy. So think about their wants, think about their needs. And of course, you can launch something that you really do love and that you're really passionate about, but also make sure that you're blending in what your customer needs into that, and how can you make that appeal to them? Because essentially you're creating like a product, you actually want someone to buy it. So, and the only way to do that is to create something that people actually want and need. Um,
Easy to get that tunnel vision sometimes.
yeah,
Easy to
yeah.
think, well, this is what they need,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. But we really have to go, okay, what do our customers want?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you don't know, ask them. Like I tell that to my clients all the time, because we can kind of make it in our head of, I don't know what they want, I don't know what they need, especially if you're just starting out, but just go ask. Like create a survey and ask. Go on Instagram and ask in like your stories. They give you the little option to create like your little question box. Like just ask people what it is they want. And like 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you. You just have to be willing to listen.
Mm,
Yeah.
excellent. That's such a great tip. Just ask.
Just ask.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Just ask and then flip what they tell you into a product.
I and get busy with it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
So what is number two?
Yeah. So number 2 is your customer service sucks. So you do have to be polite. And I know there are some cases where the customer is not right, but word spreads fast, especially online. Like people think it's a big space, but honestly, like these industries are very small. So you have to think about how you are treating people. If you are giving someone a sour experience, or you're providing a very poor customer experience, they're going to tell their friend, and then their friend is going to tell you. Like reviews last forever online. So you really have to make sure that you are giving a good client experience, a good customer experience, making sure that if there is a problem with what you're offering or what someone has purchased, that you are doing what you can to like remedy the situation. Of course, there are some cases where there are some people who just cannot be pleased, and you just have to, go as it is with those people. But for the most part, you should be putting a lot into that customer experience, not just because there are people who, will go out and tell their friends and like word spreads really fast, but because that's how you're going to get repeat customers. Like if you can provide someone with a really great experience, like that's why Chick-fil-A does so well. They sell chicken nuggets and French fries just like everyone else, but their customer experience is A1. Their customer service is A1. And that's why people keep going back.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And I think in every field, specifically the dance field, dance studios, dance privates, dance teachers,
Mm-hmm.
word of mouth is so key.
Yeah.
And maybe even having a system in place of what are we going to do if a customer isn't satisfied, or
Mm-hmm.
they want to leave or something like that. I think you're exactly right. People
Yeah.
talk, and you need to have great customer service. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what is number three?
Yeah. Number 3 is your website is working against you. So I do a lot of online shopping, especially now. We can't really go out as much as we want. But you have to make sure that if your customer is coming onto your website to purchase from you, to book you, even just to do something as simple as find out information from you, you need to make sure your website is ready and prepped for that. Meaning you should have your store policy is clear, your contact information is clear. You have no clue how many times I have wanted to work with a company, or I have wanted to reach out to people for interviews, and I couldn't find their email address. Like that should be the first thing, at least like a little contact box or something on your website. So make sure that, your products and services, if you're linking to a service or if you're linking to like a book me page, make sure that that link actually works. So if you need to do like a quick website audit, where you're literally going through each page of your website and just testing the buttons, send an email to yourself, go through your own checkout process and make sure that these things flow very seamlessly, because again, you're not the only one who is doing what you do. And if someone can't get to your services, or someone can't get to your booking page after you've linked to it, or if it goes to like a dead page, they're just going to move on. Like the internet and the world has made our attention spans super short, like really, really short. And most of the time, people aren't going to take the time to reach out to you if they can't buy something from your page. They're just going to say forget it and go to whoever is next on their list. So your website could very well be working against you instead of for you. So I highly suggest doing like a website audit. You don't necessarily have to hire like a professional. Like I use Squarespace and it works completely fine. But I think just the biggest thing is just make sure that all the links are working, making sure like your checkout process or your booking process is as seamless as possible.
I remember this was several years ago. I drove by a dance studio and I had never heard of them before. And I went home and looked at their website, and the latest information was from the year before, a couple of years before. And you're right. We're just going to move on to the next place. If it's not working, you can't find anyone to contact. What's the difference between this and this when you can easily get here? But yeah, it's so true. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
And what is number 4?
yeah, so your purpose and value isn't clear. And actually, the example that I used in this post was, you know how you walk into like a flea market and there's just so much stuff, or like my mom's favorite store is Ollie's. It's literally like a chain flea market. I feel like there's just so much going on, and it just makes you so overwhelmed. And what do you do when you're overwhelmed? You shut down and you walk away. You don't want your brand, your website, your studio to be that way. You want when they come to your studio or when they come to your website, to make sure that it is clear of who you help and how you help them. So making sure that you are clear on your mission, clear on your purpose. If you want to be known for helping little girls become the top ballerina in the world, like let that be the main mission on your website. Like make it clear. Don't say, hey, I'm going to help you to dance, but then you can also get your dinner here, and then you can also get your hair done here. Like don't make it so jumbled up. Like if you can get really just specific on who it is that you're helping and how you're helping them, it's going to be so much easier for you to sell. It's going to be so much easier for you to market yourself. And when people do stumble upon your space or stumble upon your website, they can clearly see, oh, okay, like this is exactly what I need. Or maybe even this isn't what I need, but that's okay too. But you really do just have to make your purpose and your value as clear as possible. And just letting your audience know, like, you're going to come in, this way, but this is the transformation I'm going to take you through so that you can accomplish this.
Yeah, having that clear purpose and clearly stated. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And number 5.
Yeah. So you're not consistent. So new businesses pop up every single day. New iterations of businesses pop up every single day. And the business world is constantly moving. Social media is constantly moving. Pinterest, we talk about Pinterest, it's constantly moving. Like things are constantly going. And if you're not consistent with marketing yourself, if you're not consistent with sharing more about what you do, if you're not consistent with selling or creating content, it's going to be really easy, again, for people to just go on to the next person. So again, if you want to be known for like building up the best ballerinas in the world, you need to consistently be talking about that. You need to talk about your process. You need to talk about, how, like what your specific technique is. Talk about your clients. Talk about, what makes your brand different from the others. But you have to consistently do that. And I think a lot of people think when, we say consistency, they think, oh, I have to be creating something every single day. Like that's not necessarily true, but you can't go 6 months without saying anything and then wondering why you're not getting booked or why you're not getting new clients or why you're not selling anything. So you really do have to be consistent. If you look at any of the brands that you love, I'm pretty sure you love them because you know they're always showing up. They're always consistent. They are always reminding you of what they have to offer. And I think a lot of this is like a mental kind of mindset shift that needs to take place. Like you have to get over the thought of I'm just going to annoy people, or I'm going to get on, someone's nerves. Like, it's not that. Again, the world is moving so quickly. And the way these algorithms and stuff are, happening, people may not even see your post until 5 days from now. So you have to keep producing, keep putting yourself out there if you want people to continue to buy from you.
Right. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
just the whole algorithm thing as well. And you worrying about, oh, if I say this again, someone's going to get annoyed. But it's just not how it is. And
Exactly.
sometimes you have to repeat yourself over and over and over. And then maybe the third or fourth or 10th time you say it, it will eventually sink in. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of times, just with dance studios or just with people offering privates or just anything, I sometimes when we are in a specific field, we naturally assume that other people will just know what we do. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a dance studio. You know what we do. Or I teach private lessons. You know what I do. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's not your field, then you might not know what someone does.
Exactly.
And yeah, you might not really know the difference between jazz and lyrical
Mm-hmm.
or ballet and point. You might not know the difference. And so I think it's really important for people in the dance field to continue to educate their customers and
Mm-hmm.
just potential clients. So that is really great. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then what is your final reason no one is buying what you're selling?
Yeah, so they probably don't know anything about you. So, one of the advantages that small businesses have is that you can be personable with your customers or your clients. You can share more about your mission, and you can talk about like why you're doing what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like small businesses thrive so well, is because when you book with this one studio that you're helping them to put more classes out into the community, or you're helping their family put their kids through college. Like, you have that personal and emotional connection. And I think that's one of the things that small businesses really have to take advantage of, is having that one-on-one connection. Like, I can imagine in the dance industry, a lot of you guys will have kids who are starting at very small ages that you probably have through high school or maybe even college. So you have those personal connections with these people, and you should be putting that out into your brand as well. So showing maybe the behind the scenes, or giving people a peek into like your sessions, or even just sharing more candidly about the mission, and sharing like some of the things that you're struggling with, and just being open to being transparent and sharing more about who you are. Going back to what we said about, there are a lot of people out here who are probably doing the same things as you. What's going to help you stand out among all of those, of course, is great customer service and having a clear purpose, but also it's going to be your story. So, like, what has led you up to this moment? Like, did you work your butt off to build this studio? Then you should be sharing that story of how you worked your butt off. Like, you deserve that recognition. So put that out there and just tell people again why it is that you're doing what you're doing, what makes you so special, what your personal story is, and use that to connect with your potential clients or potential customers, and use that to really like reel people in. I love shopping with small businesses because I feel like I'm low key nosy. So like I'm like, oh, I've watched your kids grow up. Of course I'm gonna buy your new thing, their new thing. Like, yeah, I have that personal connection with so many like bloggers, and like you, Ashley. I've seen your kids grow up.
Yes. I love that. And same with
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, just don't be afraid to like put yourself out there. And of course, you don't have to plaster your marketing and your website with your face. Like, if you want to, that's fine. But at least be able to help your audience put a face to the brand that you're building.
Mhm. Oh my goodness. My wheels are turning. And I feel like this is just the perfect thing that people, everyone, but
Mhm.
specifically for right now, dancers and dance teachers really
Mhm.
need to hear just so
Mhm.
that they can take it to the next level. Alisha, can you tell everyone where to find you?
Yeah, so if you want to connect with me personally, I'm on pretty much every social media platform at the Alisha Nicole. If you want to learn more about Living Over Existing, you can find us at livingoverexisting.com, and we're Living Over Existing on Instagram.
So great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us
Yeah.
today, and I hope you have a great week.